Hey guys, Alexander here, back with a new update to QuickDraw. This is a pretty major update, so I'm really excited to share this with you guys. I'm just going to show you how to install it. It's going to be like any other add-on. Go install, find the zip file, go over to QuickDraw. If you don't have it installed, you might have this button here that says Install Required Add-ons. It's very important that you click it, and then you save it, you're good to go. In the end panel, you'll have all the shortcuts. And when you're in object mode, you just press W, and you're ready to start drawing. You press Shift G, or if you press G, you'll have a shape fill. If you press Shift G, you'll go back to your line tool. If you draw a rough circle, press C, it'll make a perfect circle. Draw a wavy line, press S, it'll delete everything but the first and last point. So now let me show you guys this. So when you draw, you're in draw mode, you press R, and now based on your mouse movement, you can rotate the canvas. And you just press left mouse or enter and it'll confirm. And if you want to escape, you can press right mouse or escape and it'll just go back to what you originally had. And so that's that. And now you can actually press D and it's going to make some geo out of your drawing. And so at the bottom here, you'll see this HUD. It comes up for most of these tools. And I mean, it's pretty straightforward. I'll have my website in the description and you can kind of read more information about all these, but it's pretty self-explanatory. You know, 1, 2, 3 for solidify offset. X is going to merge to lower the resolution. S is going to delete based off angle. You have access to some bevels here. So the first bevel is going to be the corners. Oh, yeah, so the corners. And then V, the second bevel, is going to be kind of the 3D bevel. And then you just press left click and you've got the shape. One thing to mention is that you can either draw one line and create a shape, or you can draw intersected lines to create a shape. One thing you don't want to do is draw intersected and an open space. So that doesn't work, but these work. So now if you select it, press W, draw something, press Z, and then you just hold E to extrude, and if you hold Alt and click, it'll subtract. If you do the same thing, press D, and you don't extrude it, and you press Alt, it'll just cut all the way through. And then if you again select the mesh, press W, draw your shape, press D, and you hold Control, it'll separate. It's very useful. So what's next? We've got this shape, which is, so if you press Control D, it's going to create a polystrip. So again, you can straighten and merge and do all that. You can turn cyclic on. If you press Q, that's going to activate the second edge. And then you can hold W and move the mouse to change the width. Then you press Z to fill the face and E to extrude. That's a lot of shortcuts, but it's actually, it gets really fast. And so now the polystrip is useful. You can create something like this, Control D, Q, Z, Alt. And since I didn't have any extrusion, the value, it just cut all the way through. It's very useful for cut lines and stuff. And then another feature is, let's do that, Control D, make it cyclic, that won't matter. And then you don't have to do the second edge for this one, but you can, it just depends on the effect you want. And then if you press, you'll see down here it says, if you hold Control, it's going to cut through. If you hold Shift, it's going to cut not through. So hold Control, click, and now you see you've got that. It's like a blue box in BoxConnect. So what's next? That's Control D. So another tool that we have is draw a shape, and you press Shift D, and it's going to create like a soft version of this. So if you extrude and then you hold T and move the mouse, you get this nice kind of base mesh for sculpting. And again, you can click it, press W to draw your shape, press D, or actually we should press Shift D and then extrude again, smooth it out, smooth it out, hold Alt as you click, and now you got a little shape here. And you know, it keeps all the modifiers, so you can always go back and tweak. So next, this is a drama technique. You can take grease pencil, that's huge. Okay, so you can draw, in this case, we're gonna draw a horse. Just give me a second to figure this out. Let's say that that's a horse. So the nice thing is, you see, I used different widths, and if I press V, it's going to convert it to geo, but it's going to keep that width. So it's very useful. And then obviously you can go and select all the stuff, start building this out. This is going to get more useful when you can do it in VR, but for now, pretty cool. You can, okay, I just wanted to cut to show you guys a simpler example of the tuber, so it's very clear. So I'm going to draw this variable width, press V, and so it keeps the width. And if you hold W, you can kind of just multiply the width. You want to go slowly here so that you don't mess up what you had. Just keep it, you know, click and move it in tiny increments. And so if you hold Alt, well, actually, so you notice right here, it's all in this tuber group, and each one, so if you just confirm it by pressing left click or enter, you'll have 3 separate Bezier curves that you can do all the Bezier curve stuff with. If you hold Alt, then it's going to turn into geometry. And if you hold Shift, it's going to turn it all into one Bezier curve, but that's going to come at the cost of losing that variable width. Okay, so usually you just, you know, finish it up in grease pencil, and then you either convert it right away, and then you move on to the next step of the process, maybe a remesh or something, or you just confirm it, and then you don't worry about it. You make tweaks if you need to, and then when you draw your next one and you press V, this becomes the object that's in the tuber, and all of the old stuff gets converted into one piece of geometry. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. So now let's go back to the horse. So the next feature I want to show is when you're drawing, let's say that you want to edit this shape. So you can select the stroke in edit mode and press Control E. Let me pull up the hotkeys. Okay, Control E. And now it's going to convert it to a curve and give you the decimate option. You can do it here, or you can just immediately confirm it. And now this shape is basically, it's called proxy, and you can do whatever stuff you want with it. We can subdivide it, do all that, and then once we're done, we can go again into edit mode, select everything, and press Control E. And now this is a grease pencil object again. See, proxy's gone. So one thing that we can do after that, and usually you want to run an adaptive just a little bit, just because there's a lot of points for this next thing. This is a decent amount of points, and you just press Control B, and we've created a bridge, which is very cool. Okay, so next, where bridge is for creating like an open poly bridge, you have loft, which will kind of close it off for you and make it cyclical. So you can draw something like this, do a little bit of an adaptive simplify, and then you can hold Control D, and now you'll have a bridge. And then obviously you can fill it and you've got shape. And this does work with more than one. So So you can draw this, hold all these. Let's make sure that we adaptive simplify. And then you press Control D and it'll connect everything and make it cyclical. Okay, so one other tool is Clean Sketch. So if you draw something kind of rough like this, let's do like that, but you still want to use this, you can select everything, press Control Shift E, just Shift E, and then if you have all these settings here, and you can kind of use any combination of them to get it right. Usually I'll just merge, and then once you confirm, this is back into Grease Pencil. So again, you can use this for, you know, bridge or any of the other tools. You can use it for draw. And let me also show you, if you do something like this and you want to end up using this for the loft, you can select these edges, go into Clean Sketch with Shift E, and you can press this button here, F, and it's going to fix the intersections. Then we might want to just straighten it up. Okay, and now we're back in the Grease Pencil with this object. Let's try and, this is going to be crazy, but yeah, works. Okay, so for this tool, just going to draw some simple shapes. Going to use some of the old tools like Control E, decimate this down, move this up. To save a little bit of time, I'm going to delete this one. Forgot to Control E on this one, so now it's a Grease Pencil object again. Move this over here. Okay. So now I'm going to go into vertice mode, select a bunch of points and hit Shift M. And that's doing this kind of fake merge that just gets them all to a similar point, or to the same point. Okay, so now that we have that, there's a lot of points on these. No, actually there isn't. We'll just do a little bit of an adaptive simplifier. Okay, and now we can hit Alt D to just create a patch from those four. Super useful. And I mean, seriously, once this is in VR and you can just quickly draw those kind of curved in 3D shapes, man, I'm really excited. So the next thing I want to show is called Infinite Surface, and it's kind of a another drawing stroke placement type of deal. So when you're in draw mode, you press 1 and you'll notice this plane appears. It's invisible, you can't select it, so if you want to hide it and you press 1, you can just press H to hide and unhide. So one of the things that it does is, first of all, it automatically sets you to draw on surface, so that's really useful. And then based on where you're looking, it'll set, see that? It'll set, let me zoom out. So I'm looking down now, so it's going to set to that view. Looking right, so it sets that. Okay, but then also another thing that it does, you can, you see down here, you can select the axis hotkeys and just move it. So this really helps if you you want to draw something here, but then you want to move it without having to move the camera, reposition the 3D cursor, you know, all of that. You can just hold Y, or press 1 first to activate the tool, and then press Y. And based on, because of this gnomon thing, you can see how far you're moving it. Let go of Y, click to confirm, and now you're drawing in there. It's tough, but you can get close. So what else does it do? You can create this plane here. W, okay, so if you press 1 and then your cursor is over a face, it'll align to that face. See that? Super useful. Okay, so also, just so you guys know, I automatically set the hotkeys for these. So, like I said, 1 is going to do the infinite surface, 2 is going to go 3D cursor, 3 is going to go regular old surface, and then 4 is going to go stroke first point. Okay, that was infinite surface. Oh, and by the way, you can use mirror with this. So you can either use hard ops or make it yourself. But just press D. It'll collapse the mirror and handle all that for you. So this part of the video was recorded separately and sped up. And if you want to know more about the logic behind this way of working, please just check out Jama's tutorials. I'll have a link in the description. And really, QuickDraw is just kind of automating some of the processes that he showed. And including some stuff I like from Gravity Sketch and 3D Coat. So here you just saw me make a base shape and then use tuber, and obviously this is a super fast way of working, and I deleted it, and then now I'm doing it with Loft just to try and cover all the QuickDraw bases. Yeah. So you saw I drew two different lofts, so they have different points and it still lofts together, which is nice. Here I'm making sure that the strokes intersect, but they don't, like the intersected parts don't also intersect. And I cover that more on my site, but I think that makes sense. Like, there's a specific amount of intersections that you can do. You can only have one. Just fixing proportions and stuff. Using the remesh. Really excited to get the modifier back so we can script that up. The cut is super useful. Obviously doing like little Boolean subtractions with QuickDraw is very fast. I noticed I was constantly like messing up the 3D cursor versus the surface mode, so I'm thinking maybe I'll have like a pop-up that tells you what draw mode you're in, but we'll see. Oh, the loft here worked really nicely. Like, this was super fast and cool. Just simplify it first, and then boom, wings. This workflow, it feels so much like 3D Coat. Using hard ops for the mirror. There I drew a circle with the draw thing, and then I pressed C to make it a perfect circle. And now I'm just using tuber and taking advantage of the fact that I can do different widths, which is really a huge speed up. Just adding little greebles here with tuber. Yeah, so you can see how fast this is coming together, and it really feels like drawing. Oh, and this is when I'm using cut, I feel like that's a really powerful way to use this, to use QuickDraw, because it just makes these panel lines so fast. And they feel natural, they feel like you're drawing, and it looks like it's a sketch. And just skip ahead, this is all simple stuff. Just adding details. And yeah, this is the finished version. I think it took me about an hour. And then, well, I'll show you in a sec. Just showing all the details and stuff. Preview mode. Oh yeah, and so the horse that we made earlier, I spent like 15 more minutes just sculpt on top, tried the new IK pose brush, and then rigged the other one. And then I spent an hour or so putting a scene together. Just a super simple scene, but here it is. So yeah, it was super fast to make these shapes with QuickDraw. And that was with, you know, like starting and stopping and going in and fixing bugs and stuff. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. I'm really excited to keep improving the tool, adding remesh, adding VR, and, you know, just making it better overall. Okay guys, thanks for watching.